Yes, Sanjay, please go ahead.
Okay. So today we'll see two concepts. One is schedule apex and second one is batch apex. So what is a schedule apex? Till now we have seen two asynchronous process. One is the feature method and another one is the queuable apex. Both are asynchronous apex, means it runs in its own thread. Okay. Now here schedule apex is also an asynchronous apex. Okay, so that means if you want to run the logic in a specific time intervals, or let's say if you want to run the logic on every day or every week or something, then you can go for the schedule apex. Okay, to write the schedule apex, a class should implement an interface which is called system.schedulable interface. Okay, and then this schedulable interface is having one method which is called execute. Okay, system to run on specific time intervals. Okay, means if you want to run the logic on every day or every hour or let's say every month, something like that, in some frequency time intervals, in same frequency time intervals, if you want to run some business logic, then that can be done through the schedule. This schedule apex class, so whatever the class you are going to schedule, that class should implement system.schedulable interface, and it should override execute method, because this interface will have only one method that's called as execute method. Okay. So we can schedule two ways. The apex class can be scheduled in two ways. One is through the apex classes page in the configuration pages, and through the code. Okay, you can use it. So cron expression. What is a cron expression? So cron expression is nothing but in which time intervals or when this class should execute its logic. So we can mention, let's say, tomorrow means December 1st, 2021 at 12 a.m. If you want to run this logic, then they are saying that how to do this. So seconds series, seconds 00, minutes 00, then hours of the day. Hours means at what hours? 00 means 12 a.m. or you can say this 00, and then hours, day of the month. So 01 means December, month is 12. So day of the week, you can give question marks and optional year 2021. Now what happens is it runs at 12 a.m. December 1st on 2021. It runs only on this day. Okay, you have to give the cron expression. Don't worry about that. I'll explain this. Okay. See here, we can just go through the scheduler. Should implement schedulable interface first. Maybe only one method that's called execute method. That execute method should be implemented. See this one? This is the schedulable interface contains one method that must be implemented execute. The syntax is global or public void execute system schedulable context dot sc. Okay, so this implemented method should be global or public, whatever it is. Okay, so actual logic, whatever you want to update, that should be in the this execute method. Okay, So there are some considerations. At a time, you can submit or you can have 100 jobs at queue. Means only 100 jobs can be submitted in the queue. If you are trying to submit more than 100, then it will throw an error on this. Okay, but you can plot the details of the schedule of X job in the cron trigger and cron job detail objects. Make sure that you should note down this one, cron trigger and cron job detail objects. Okay, so this is about schedule apex. How to test this one? You just use test.start test and test.stop test and before calling the schedule apex. Okay, so here you have the seconds, minutes, hours, day of the month, and then month. Okay, then day of the week, optional year. Okay, so here, if you see this, cron expression will be having seconds, minutes, hours, day, month, day of the week, optional year, right? So here they are having some special values. Seconds should be from 0 to 59 because the milliseconds will be 60 milliseconds, 1 second. So 0 to 59. Then 60 seconds will be 1 minute. So here minutes will be 0 to 59. Hours will be 0 to 23. Okay. 0 to 23 means 0. Okay. 23. Then here you can have comma hyphen hash. Okay. So instead of the 0 or let's say 12 hours, 12 or 23 or something, you can have comma underscore and star and then again slash. Okay. Day of the month 1 to 31st means you can say 31st means let's say December 31st, you can have 31st, but you should not give February 31st because February 28th will be or 29th will be the last day. So make sure you will be having, and here it allows comma underscore comma hyphen, then again star and question mark slash W. Okay, see this, and then for month it allows like 1 to 12 or January, Feb, John, Feb, March, this one. You can have like this. One, then comma, hyphen, star, slash. These are the special characters are allowed instead of this. Okay. So day of the week, whether it may be the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or 1 to 7. Here also it allows comma, hyphen, star, question mark, slash, L, and then hash. So then optional year. Optional year means maybe null, means you can ignore it or you can give any number from 1970 to 2099. Okay. So then comma hyphen store. Now let's see what is this comma, what is this hyphen, what is this star is described here. Comma. So for example, if you want to specify, let's say you want to run this schedulable Apex class at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 12 a.m. Then you can give 9, comma 10, comma 12. Okay, that's why comma is allowed. Comma means if you want to add more values, then you can use comma separated. Okay, then hyphen specifies the range. For example, January to let's say go for days is a say our 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. like this. Okay, then star. If month is specified as star, the job schedules for every. Okay, star is allowed. See here, star. Star means for every month. If you mention for date, day of the month, for every day. Okay, that's how you have to prepare the cron expression. Then question mark specifies no specific value. This is only available for day of the month and day of the week. and is generally used while specifying a value for one or not the other. In just no specific value, if we give question mark, then we do not have anything, then it will keep running that. Okay, so the number of so L means last working day or last day of the month, last day of the week, last month, something like this. Okay, last day of the week, something like this, and then specify week slash mean hash means weekday, then day of the month. Okay, so there are something, but you don't need to worry about this one. There will be one website like cron maker. Okay, so here we won't worry about this cron job trigger. I mean, how to the cron expression. Just simply go, and if you want you can just, but you should be aware of this one, else you will be in trouble in interview. They will ask some questions around this one. What is L, what is EW, and what is star, something like this. Okay, what is hyphen? So comma means multiple values, hyphen means range, star means every, slash means some range on that. Okay, some by fifth or the day of the month, something like that. Okay, so here in the cron expression, what you can do, let's say if you want to run monthly, first day of every month, or first day, Monday, or first day Thursday of every 1 month. You can see this. So if you want to run first, let's say first day of every 2 months. Okay, for every 2 months, generate it. See here. First day 00, that means 0 seconds, 0 minutes, 12 a.m. and then first day of the month, and for every 2 months, 1 by 2 means for every 2 months. Okay, then star means every month, every year. Okay, so that's how it will be exposed. Or let's say if you want to run every hour, let's say every 1 hour starts at 12 a.m. or something, just generate series 0001 every hour means once in hour. Okay, so here let's say if you want to run for every 5 minutes is 0.5 means every 5 minutes. Okay, every hour, for every hour. So this is how some cron expressions you will be writing. Don't need to worry about these cron expressions because they will give the, if someone asks you to write the schedule of X, then they will give the intervals at what time it has to be scheduled. Okay, hope you guys can understand this one. Make sure that what are the points. Schedule of X means it should implement the schedulable interface, and then it should override one method called execute method, and then inside the execute method, whatever the logic you have written, if you want to run that code in specific time intervals, you can go for the schedulable apex. Okay, and some points you have to remember that there should be, so let's say if you schedule one apex class, that can be considered as one job. Like that, if you have more than 100 jobs scheduled at a time, then it will be throwing the error because at a time only 100 scheduled jobs should be in the queue. Okay, to track the changes, you can use two objects to query the details of the job. One is cron trigger and cron job detail. There are objects, cron trigger and then cron job detail. These two are the objects you can query and check the job status. And when you want to schedule the job, you can use system.schedule. This one. System.schedule job. Something. There is one method. Using that method, can schedule the job. System.schedule method. Okay. To execute the thing. And another thing is, so if you submit the job to execute tomorrow at 12 a.m., but it is not guaranteed that it will be executed at the same time. That's based on the resource availability. Every asynchronous effects like feature method or queue of X or batch of X or schedule of X, whatever it is, if you submit that for execution, it won't be executed on the specific time. Means we cannot guarantee that it may be executed on the specific time or it may be delayed also based on the resource availability. Okay. Now let's go into the code part, how to write the schedule of X for us. Okay. So let's say one. Okay. So we have training records. Let's have one small example. So every day, what I need to do is, I just need to update this training record end date. Okay. So end date, I have to make it plus one day, something like this, until unless for the trainings which are not completed, okay, whose status is not completed, means if the training status is not completed, then I need to make their end date plus one day. Okay. So for that, how I will go ahead and write the schedule of X. Let's go ahead and create one of X class. I'm giving the name training schedule. Okay. Here, the first point we have to implement one phrase system dot schedulable. Okay. System dot schedule one interface you have to, and then you have to implement one public void execute system dot schedulable context. Okay. Here you will be running the business logic. Here, if you want to pass some parameters, you can pass using the constructors. Here, click constructor name. Let's say if you want to pass some values, okay? If you want to update the status for if you want to pass the status to the schedule of X, if you want to update the schedulable, I mean completed trainings or in progress trainings or something, then you can use like public string status. Okay. You can pass here string status. this dot status equals to status. Okay. First, you have created the constructor, and through the constructor only you can pass the parameters to the schedule apex. Okay. First, you have to declare the instance variables inside the schedulable apex class. Then, through the constructor, you need to pass the parameter values, and using those parameters values, you can set this values to the instance variables. Then these instance variables can be available with the execute method. Okay, let's write. I want to update the training records end date whose date is null or something. Let's say if their end date is 12/5/2021. I just need to increment by 1 day. Okay, for whose status is paused here. Now let's do the thing for let's list of training _c trainings equals to list of training _c. Okay, created one list. So if you want to update the records, you should have those records in your logic. Now query the records. Select D, comma, then what is that end date you need it. Then end date. We need only one. Then status. So here, right, where status _c equals to. So as you are using the apex variable inside the SOQL query, make sure that you are sending the apex variables inside the query. So what you need to do is equals and then colon, equals then colon, use this status, right? This status. Okay. All these trainings where this status is showing is you have to check whether those status is correct or if trainings dot is empty means if not empty then only you need to execute the logic, right? If there is no training record with the status whatever you are processing, then we don't need to execute the remaining logic with the records. It will be waste of DML operation. For training _c t t dot end date _c. Understood? So here, if it is end date is some null, then it will throw the error, right? So what you need to do is end date equals to null. If null, assign system dot okay, else add case. Okay. Then finally, after for loop, just update the trains. Date trains. Okay. So here there might be a chance of running some exceptions. Okay. Usually we don't write the try catches, but better practices you have to write try catches because if there are some exceptions, let's say if you are trying to update the value here and it may be failed. The records may be failed because of some validation rules or some field values or big list values change or something. Then what you can do is, wherever you are writing this logic and you are expecting an exception, what you can do is you have to write that logic inside the try catch. Try, then whatever the logic you are having, this entire logic should be ended here. Okay, then catch. Okay, this is how you can do. And inside the exception catch block, okay, so if there is something failed inside this logic, maybe query failed, or it may be the some null pointer exception, or it may be the validation failed or something, what it does is it will be skipped this logic and will come inside this code. Means it will be executed as usual, but it won't fail the logic. Okay, so here usually we will create one custom object and enter the log details, like some exception is happened in this class at line number something. Okay, this I will show you later. It's not a okay. So now here we are done with the schedule apex. Okay, go to the setup. Apex classes. Okay. In classes, you have a button called schedule apex. Okay, using this schedule apex button, you can schedule the class. What is the class name? Here you can get in this class name whatever the classes which implements the scheduler, those classes will be available here. You can select any of the class which you want to schedule or a specific time intervals. Select that and select when you want to run, every month or every week. Okay, select all of them. Then what time you need to start and what time you have to stop. Okay, so here it runs every month. You cannot select the uh, different time intervals if you want to run for every half an hour or something. It will be every 1 hour. Okay, so every month or say weekday means every day at or 1. And here the disadvantage is if you want to run from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. something, it is not possible to schedule through the schedule apex page. Okay, so instead of that, what you can do is you can write one schedulable, cron expression. Okay, so that cron job expression, let's prepare the thing. So here minutes, sorry, seconds, minutes, hours, day of the month, day of the week should be there. Okay, so first, how to do this? System dot schedulable. Okay, system dot schedule job schedule. Okay, so this is the method what you have to execute, what you have to use to give the or to schedule the schedule apex. Here you can observe that job name is required. This is okay, so more about that. System class in Salesforce. Okay, so if you just system class in Salesforce, if you give it, because we are using system dot schedule, then system should be the method. Sorry, system should be the class and schedule should be the method. Okay, using that system dot schedule, this is a method. Using this method, you can schedule the schedule of X. See this schedule job. See here. In this schedule job method, whatever means string job name, you need to pass a name of the job string. String cron expression means it is also your text object of schedulable apex class name. Okay, and if you want to say by started executing the job and you wanted to stop the execution, then what you can do is you can use abort job system dot abort job. Okay, we give something job name is training update. Okay, so trainings update. Then what is the cron expression? You need to make it cron expression, right? So cron expression should be first seconds, giving seconds is this, and hours, sorry, minutes. Okay, I'm giving 45 7 hours. Then you want, you can check here. Okay, see this seconds 0 to 59, minutes 0 to 59. Okay, seconds, sorry, seconds, and I'm giving 45 minutes, and then hours. Okay, so hours 0 to 23, I have given 7 as the hours. Okay, so again day of the month. Okay, so day of the month, I'm going to give the this one means next month, every month I'm saying. Then sorry, day of the month every day, and then month I'm going to give this as this is 11. Then means November, day of the week I'm going to give as the star. Then see here optional year, even if you don't give also there will be no issue. Okay, so now we have to create the object for this, right? Because you need to pass the object training schedule. I'm giving yes equals to new training schedule. Then you need to pass the object, the status of the training. Let's say completed. Okay, here completed. Okay, then pass this object to the schedule method of the scheduler. Okay, I hope you understand this. First, name of the job you have to give, then you have to give the cron expression, then you need to pass the object name. Execute this. If there are some errors, it will throw the error. Now this is done. Okay, and one more thing is, if you want to get the job details, see system.schedule method is there. This method will return string, right? The string means it will give the job ID. Okay? It will give the job ID. See this string job ID equals something you can give like this. String dot table of now if you try to execute again, as there is the job already in trainings update, it will throw the error. It says the Apex job name trainings updates. is already scheduled for execution. Okay. Now let's go where you can check the whether jobs are scheduled or not. You just type Apex jobs in the setup. Okay. See this. Here we can see this training job scheduled Apex. It's already queued. Okay. So it is what is the time it has to be scheduled? Queued status date to the batches failure completed. Okay, so instead of that, go for schedule jobs. Okay, scheduled jobs. Here you can see what time it will be executed. See this trainings update has been scheduled. What time it will be? 11:38, 7:42 a.m. It has been submitted. So what time it will be executed? 11:38, 2021, 7:48, 7:45 a.m. means in minute. It should start now. Refresh the page. See this? This has been executed this time, started on this one, and next will be 11/1 2022. We have not given any year, right? So if you are not given any year, then it will be in the next year. Next year, 11/1, because tomorrow is the month will be changed. So means that will not be. Now you can see this. Should have been updated the date. See here, it was 12/5, now it is 12/6. Okay, that's how you can write the job. Let's say now how can we query the records, or let's say what are the classes are scheduled, what jobs are in progress. Okay, for that you have two objects. One is cron trigger. Cron job detail ID, post time, previous state, start time, end date. What is the cron expression? Times trigger. Okay, execute. See this. So what are the jobs we have? This is the job we have submitted, right? 00:45, 7:45 a.m. and everything, right? So how many times it is triggered? It triggered only once. Okay, this is how it is. This is the cron job detail ID. Okay, you can query the details when it is executed, what is the next time it will be executed, what is the end date. So this will be like that. Okay, now we have another thing called cron trigger. So cron job detail, cron job detail ID, name, job type. Okay, so if you query this, will give the what are the schedule jobs. Training rate, job type is 7. Okay, if you want to know about more cron job detail, just go ahead and search here. You can learn more subject using this one. Okay, cron job details. What is the job type? First, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. These many are the job types will be there. So when you say it is 7 schedule apex, when it says schedule flows, okay, dashboard refresh, data export, dashboard reporting snapshot, report on batch jobs. If your batch job is scheduled, then the type will be 9. Okay, so you just learn about that one. Okay, this is about the schedule apex. Okay, and one more thing. So you have this ID. Now you need to abort that logic. Let's say I don't want to execute this system dot abort job ID. Execute. Only configurize that batch of code. Is you will need to give configure ID. Now if you refresh this, that has been removed. Okay. Now if you go to the Apex class, I mean schedule Apex, so here it won't be available. This is an interview question which is asked in recent interviews. How can you abort the job? System dot abort. Or another way is you can come to the schedule Apex job page. You can just keep deleting. If you delete it, then simply it will be deleted. Okay. So that is about the schedule Apex. Any questions on this, guys? Okay, fine. So next thing, we have another concept called batch Apex. Batch Apex is one concept. So here, if you want to important, so if you want to update the trainings, okay, you are using the schedule apex if you want to update on every day. Okay, but let's say if you have some lakhs of records on the training object, let's say 3 lakh records you are having, schedule apex cannot handle those many records to update the records. Let's say if you want to update all training records, sorry, all completed trainings, and those complete trainings are 2 lakhs records. So those 2 lakhs records cannot be handled inside the schedule apex. So that should be done through the batch apex. Okay, batch apex is also an asynchronous apex which is used to process the bulk amount of records means up to 5 million records, sorry, 50 million records. Okay, 50 million records or 5 lakhs records. Okay, 5 lakh records this can handle means BackFX can handle up to 5 lakh records. Okay, so if you want to write the batch of X, you should implement one method called batch database dot batchable